Most people think wealth starts in the bank. It doesn't. It starts in the mind. The way you think, decide, and control yourself under pressure. Train your mind like the wealthy do, or stay trapped in survival mode forever.
Train your mind like the wealthy do. They don't wake up richer than you by accident. They don't think differently because they have money. They have money because they trained their mind to see the world differently, long before the results ever showed up. The greatest lie ever sold is that wealth is about numbers, bank balances, titles, cars, houses. But every empire you admire was first built in silence, inside the mind of someone who refused to think like the crowd. Most people train their bodies. Some train their skills. Very few train their thinking. And that is the separation. Because wealth is not attracted by effort alone. It is attracted by clarity. It is built by discipline of thought. It is sustained by emotional control, long vision, and the quiet confidence to delay gratification while the world begs for comfort. Dale Carnegie understood this long before social media, before podcasts, before gurus shouting advice into the void. He saw that the human mind, once conditioned, becomes a magnet. It pulls opportunities, people, and outcomes toward it without force. The wealthy do not react, they respond. They do not panic, they plan. They do not chase approval, they build value. Look closely and you'll notice something unsettling. Two people can face the same circumstances, the same economy, the same limitations, and one rises while the other remains trapped. The difference is not luck, it is mental posture. The wealthy train their mind to think in decades, not days. They are not seduced by quick wins that weaken long-term strength. They understand that discipline today buys freedom tomorrow. Where most people ask, "How can I get this now?" they ask, "What must I become to deserve this later?" That single shift changes everything. They train their mind to see problems as raw material. Where others complain, they calculate. Where others quit, they refine. Where others see risk, they see leverage. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times, not because he was reckless, but because his mind was trained to extract progress from failure. Henry Ford was mocked, bankrupted, and doubted, yet his thinking never shrank to fit public opinion. Abraham Lincoln lost elections, businesses, and years of his life to defeat, but his internal compass never surrendered to circumstance. They were not fearless, they were focused. The wealthy train their mind to master emotion. They don't let anger make decisions. They don't let fear write their future. They don't let ego destroy momentum. Emotion is expensive when unmanaged. Clarity is profitable. While most people live at the mercy of their moods, the wealthy build systems for consistency. They don't rely on motivation, they rely on structure. They wake up with intention. They protect their attention. They choose what enters their mind like a gatekeeper protecting a fortress. Because what you consume mentally determines what you create physically. They don't gossip. They don't dwell on drama. They don't obsess over what they cannot control. They ask better questions. What skill increases my value? What habit compounds over time? What relationship expands my perspective? And slowly, invisibly, their thinking compounds. The wealthy understand something most people resist. Confidence is not loud. It is quiet certainty built through repetition. They rehearse success internally before it ever becomes visible externally. They visualize outcomes not to escape reality, but to prepare for it. They train their mind to expect responsibility, not comfort, to welcome pressure, not avoid it, to see discipline not as punishment, but as power. While others numb themselves with entertainment, the wealthy invest in education. While others chase validation, they chase mastery. While others fear being misunderstood, they understand that progress is lonely before it is respected. And this training does not happen once, it happens daily. Every choice is a vote, every habit is a signal, every thought is a direction. You are becoming something whether you like it or not. The question is, are you training your mind deliberately or letting the world train it for you? Because the world trains minds to consume, not create, to compare, not commit, to react, not reflect. But the wealthy resist that programming. They pause, they think, they decide. And once they decide, they move with quiet intensity. They do not announce every goal. They do not explain every move. They let results speak in time. This is not arrogance, this is alignment. They understand that belief must come before evidence, that action must come before applause, that patience is not weakness, but strategic strength. The mind, when trained, becomes a weapon, not against others, but against limitation. And the most dangerous thing you can do is underestimate the power of a disciplined mind moving in one direction.
They know something else too, something rarely spoken aloud. Your environment will try to reprogram you back to average. Friends will joke, family will worry, society will pressure you to be realistic, to be safe, to be normal. The wealthy train their mind to stand alone without becoming bitter. They don't fight opinions, they don't seek permission, they simply outgrow rooms that can no longer contain their thinking. Because once your mind expands, it cannot comfortably return to smallness. They train their mind to detach self-worth from immediate results. They don't quit just because progress is invisible. They understand that roots grow in darkness before trees ever touch the sky. Most people abandon effort right before momentum arrives. The wealthy expect the delay. They know that consistency without validation is the true test of belief. While others ask, "Is this working yet?" they ask, "Am I becoming sharper through this process?" They train their mind to see time as an ally, not an enemy. They don't rush decisions that affect decades. They don't panic when results lag behind effort, because they understand compounding. A single disciplined thought, repeated daily, becomes a mindset. A mindset practiced consistently becomes an identity. An identity lived long enough becomes a legacy. That's why they guard their mornings. That's why they value silence. That's why they schedule thinking time when others scroll. They know clarity is not found in noise. The wealthy train their mind to act even when certainty is incomplete. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't wait to feel ready. They move with calculated courage. Fear does not disappear, it is managed. Doubt does not vanish, it is outworked. They train their mind to separate facts from feelings. Feelings change hourly, facts build futures. They make decisions based on principles, not pressure. And perhaps most importantly, they train their mind to respect themselves. They keep promises to themselves. They finish what they start. They show up even when no one is watching. Self-trust is the foundation of confidence. Without it, no amount of knowledge creates power. With it, even small actions become unstoppable. That is why the wealthy do not obsess over motivation. They build discipline. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is structural. One fades, the other compounds. They train their mind to embrace boredom when necessary, repetition, practice, refinement. While others chase novelty, they chase precision. That is how skills sharpen. That is how reputations form. That is how opportunity recognizes readiness. And make no mistake, opportunity favors the prepared mind. Not the loudest, not the fastest, but the most consistent. This training is invisible to outsiders. There is no applause for thinking better, no trophies for emotional control. But over time, the results become undeniable. Calm under pressure, clear decisions, strategic patience, unshakable confidence. These are not traits you're born with, they are trained. And here is the truth most people avoid. If you don't train your mind intentionally, it will be trained accidentally, by fear, by media, by the opinions of people who never built what you want. But when you choose to train it deliberately, something changes. You stop chasing approval. You stop reacting to chaos. You stop shrinking your dreams to fit other people's comfort. You begin to move differently, think differently, expect more, not arrogantly, but responsibly. And slowly, quietly, the outer world begins to follow the inner shift. Because wealth, in its truest form, is not money first. It is clarity, it is discipline, it is emotional mastery. It is vision held steady when distractions scream. Train your mind like the wealthy do, and the results will eventually have no choice but to follow.
This channel isn't for everyone. It's for those who choose discipline over excuses.